AFTV has partnered with Raffle and we're giving you a chance to win 2 luxury VIP tickets to the Arsenal v Chelsea game worth over £1,500. It's just £10 entry and we've got a limited 250 tickets. Tickets for a chance to attend your dream matchday experience go on sale on February the 24th, so click the link below. Stay tuned for the drop because once they're gone, they're gone.
Hey, Forte, get some VIP tickets. You know, there's a few more things coming, but guys, make sure you look out for that. There's gonna be so much more details coming your way. Check out on the drop on the day of it. Raforte, a nice VIP experience. Something that I tried to speak to the team. What can man get a little? What can we not get that? But they were like, nah, it's for you lot. It's for you guys. It's for you guys. But listen, big up. You know what time it is? It's Tuesday at 7 p.m. C units in the building with the others. They call you Big C. I'm like, brother, I'm tall and Cecil and like Big C. But it is what it is. There's 2 Big C's in the building now. And we got a lot to get through today, Curtis. I mean, how are you first? I know you hit 90K as well. Congratulations, subscribers, brother. Big up.
No, I appreciate that, bro. You know, I've been off for a couple of days, man. It's half term, so I'm on dad duties and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. And I can see the comments, you know, they're ready. They seen that title and said, what? What's going on here? But you know,
yeah, they're saying, yo, what's going on? Obviously, we're aware. Don't worry, me and Curtis know the lack of the signings to attacking players in the windows has cost us. Injuries has cost us. Obviously, the VAR thing has been spoken about, but new things have kind of, you know, come to the forefront, which we're going to go through today, just briefly, and then we're going to get into some of the other topics towards the back end of the show. But we have to start with it. I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard about. You know, the show on Sky Sports, Ref Watch, they release, you know, the audio, they talk about big situations. And obviously the big situation they spoke about most recently is the Mars Lewis Skelly red card. Now, I want to quickly talk through this because I listened to it. And it's funny, when I was in the Molineux in the stadium, I said, I would love to hear what the ref said. I'd love to hear the audio of from when it first happened to what was going on to, you know, the checks and all that, because we were all so shocked in the stadium at the time that I was just like, how has he come to that conclusion? He got his red card out straight away. And if you guys haven't seen it, I want to kind of break down kind of what was said from Howard Webb, who's obviously on the show, Michael Owen, who, by the way, this brother, this guy, he actually infuriated me listening to him saying he was, but we'll get into it. So first what happened was when, so the red cards the incident happens and Michael Oliver, he says, I'm going to go for a red card there, mate. He says, red card for serious foul play on the ankle. So then obviously, that was straight away. Then all of a second, VAR checking it, they're checking it. Now, as you people may know, VAR, when they're watching things back. They take it in slow-mo, they do still images, which Howard Webb, funny enough, when he was trying to break things down, he said, we've got to try and stay away from slowing things down, instances down, and doing still images, because we're trying to get away from that when making decisions. But obviously they're doing that, and they confirm Michael Oliver's decision on field. Now, what I want to really highlight, I want to go to this bit here. Howard Webb said that VAR, they didn't want to re-referee the situation. So I'm frustrated with the fact that we got a red card anyway, because I think it's nonsense. We was all there. Oh, well, we all saw it. We all saw it was clearly not a red card. It was not malicious. Serious foul play as well. I've got the definition here. It's excessive force or brutality for serious foul play. We played the game. Man's just gone to clip the player as he's breaking away. Yeah, there's no dog zone. It's not like he's in a goal scoring opportunity, and it wasn't brutality. It wasn't.
No,
I don't care what anyone says. He's not gone to hurt the player there. He's just gone to stop the attack. So when he made a decision, I was like, it's completely wrong from the beginning. And then Howard Webb said, look, the VAR didn't want to re-referee the situation and didn't want to change the on-field decision. VAR were mindful. These are exact words. Of the referee's call standing, didn't see it as a clear and obvious error, which we all know now to this point that it really was. It just annoyed me. I don't know what you thought when you heard them trying to explain it, break it down. I'll say to Howard Webb and Michael Owen, they said, look, I thought it was a yellow card, but they all said we thought it was a yellow card, but they kind of pushed it to be like, but other people have said it looks like it can be a red card, and I was just like, what is going on? VAR sorry, I need to get your opinion, but I have to say, if you're not going to re-referee the game, what is the point of having VAR then? If you're not going to change any decisions, then it's pointless. But
it's almost like they're saying, unless if there's any doubt that it could have been, they won't change it. It's like they don't want to make their mate look stupid. And the thing I can't stand with VAR is the still images. Still images is shocking, bro. If you use still images on tackles, there'll be 3 or 4 red cards every game, bro. You know how many times you might win the ball, then catch the foot with the studs or something. If you still image that, you could go, look, the studs are touching his foot and it's a red card. And they're not using it in the correct manner, in my opinion. And I think a big problem is that if you referee a game on Saturday and you're the VAR official for my game, and then the following week I'm the VAR official for you, bear in mind we're going to the meetings together, we're probably in a WhatsApp group. Am I going to go? Imagine Arsenal Man City on Sky, everyone's watching it. You give a red card, looking at it going, I'm not really sure that's a red card, but you know what? Cecil's my brethren still, and there's 10 million people watching this game. I don't want to make you look stupid. Yo, just go with the on-field decision, man. Let that run. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I think they need to separate the VAR officials from the guys that are refereeing the game on a Saturday and Sunday. I think it needs to be 2 different groups of people. Train people
for
VAR. Yeah, video assistant referee. So I have 2 separate.
It's different. Yeah, it's different. It's completely different to being on the pitch. You're right. The sport
totally different. Yeah, you're looking at technology. You're looking at still images, angles. They need to understand what's happening because, like you say, people who have played will know. Okay, yeah, he catches him there, but he's tried to trip him over. Even Howard Webb says he doesn't make full contact with him. It kind of brushes down his leg, and that's Howard Webb, bro. So, but in terms of the whole title of the show, as we've said, we're not sitting here saying VAR is the reason that Arsenal are not top of the league or this, that, and the other. We're just isolating the fact that VAR doesn't seem to be working properly in this country, and that Lewis Skelly thing. And then, do you know the thing that I just want to say this quickly? What has really bothered me is that Lewis Skelly's getting jeered by Leicester fans the other day.
Yeah,
they're jeering him and booing him. And
he's a villain. Is he? He's a young. He's just come through, bro. What is? How can
bro? He's 18 years of age. He's on the verge of the England squad. And yeah, I used to see Vardy doing all sorts of celebrations. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind that because it was against Tottenham. But Vardy, I remember when he scored against Palace, he was doing the Eagle. He's been doing all sorts. I never heard Carragher. I never heard Neville. I never heard no one. Lewis Skelly just does a little and it's uproar. Now fans are booing him like he's public enemy number 1. So, yeah, man. But, yeah, I didn't like that.
That is something to mention. I think a lot of this live that we're doing tonight as well is going to be around like the Lewis Skellys, the Ethan Nwaneri as youngsters. And you're spot on there. Like, man's just reach. And people are booing him and getting angry at him. Like, yeah, he's got a villain arc already. I'm like, he hasn't even done anything. He's just a good player. Even the Haaland. I'm not gonna keep going. It's been done to death. But even that is just a small thing. It's just like he's targeted. Even from the red card at Wolves, and granted, it didn't really get overturned, but the ban got taken away. Right. That annoyed me in a sense because Mark Oliver basically almost stopped him being in that City game, which brought us that moment as well. Like that game. Not to say it made it. Lewis Skelly was on the right trajectory anyway, doing well. But that game, the goal celebration, the way he played, the way he defended was solid. So it's mad, like you said, the media hate for him and that whole situation, the VAR, I think is a mess. It's an absolute mess. And Mikel Oliver being supposed to be one of the best in the country, he was so quick to put his card, so quick to. And I advise people to go listen to the audio. It's online. You can find it on X or on YouTube, on Sky Sports, ref watching. He says, like, I think I'm going to give a red here, mate. And then he goes, yeah, serious foul play. He was so quick to make that decision. And then the VAR, who is supposed to, intervene when things are clearly an obvious mistake, they don't, because they don't want, like you said, they want to protect their friend. And then that leads to them getting a ban. Luckily, it got taken away. But then also it leads to Arsenal getting a 65 grand fine. Yeah. So I'm going to read this. Arsenal fined £65,000 over players' reaction to Lewis Skelly's red card at Wolves. Right, let me carry on. Arsenal have been fined 65,000 following the players' reaction to Marzo Skelly getting sent off at Wolverhampton. Now, that's crazy. So the reaction of a decision that was wrong, that got overturned.
We're still getting fined for it.
We're getting fined for it.
And them refs are probably just, you order 10, you order, you know what I mean? It's on Sky Sports,
you take 20,
you
take 100, yeah.
You know what I mean? Man's like, Michael Oliver, you ordered that, Harold Webb, take that, you know what I mean? But they got it wrong, but still fine them for the reaction. It's mad. It is mad. It doesn't make sense. They admitted they were wrong. But I've always said something, Cecil. I've said this for a long time. I don't listen, we can't feel like we're being cheated, but at the same time, I don't think we need to be liked. I never felt like Arsenal were a media darling. I don't think they are.
No, we're not.
And we've spoken about this before for the reasons and, Wenger and certain things. I don't
what club all right, give me an example of a club that is a media darling, because I like to do this. If we don't see ourselves one, is there ones that kind of the media like? I mean, I think
United are, man. Come on, United. I know they're being criticised because they're poor now, but they dominate British media, man. Pundits are all over the place.
Man United is a good example. Okay.
Man United are a media darling, man. They probably earned it as well from their success, but I think
people are saying Liverpool, Man City, which Liverpool. To be fair, do you know what? On that, because I want to quickly just share something. And I'm going to let you carry on just quickly on that, Curtis. Sorry, that they've got the VAR. I don't know if you can see this here. It's the Premier League table. If the VAR decisions were correct, right? So this would be the tables if all the decisions were correct and were not wrong. So I'm going to go through the teams that Man City have had 4 decisions for them that have gone in their favour. They're at the top of that list. Same with Brighton, Leicester. Wolves had 3 against. But for Arsenal, all the way down here, we've had 3 decisions against us that were wrong and should have been overturned. I think they mentioned the red card at Brighton, the headbutt in the box. They mentioned obviously the Lewis Skelly one. They mentioned one against, I think, Palace about Nathaniel Klein, but I don't really remember that one. But those were the 3. Chelsea have had 7 against them, and 2 go for them. So there's oh, sorry, I didn't even pop it up. Look at me. Here we go. So if you guys can see on your screen there, Man City, their decisions they got had 4 for them. Brighton, Leicester 4, Wolves with 6, and then 3 against them. Arsenal all the way down the bottom here, like I mentioned, and there's 3 against us.
Chelsea have had 7 against them. That's mad.
That's mad, isn't it? Yeah. Mad. 7 wrong decisions. They've had 2 go for them. We've had none, obviously. They've had 2, but they've had 7 against them, which is, to me, I was reading this. I just couldn't believe it. But I just wanted to just quickly pop that because you spoke about media darlings and whatnot. But yeah, man. I mean, it's interesting. See, we're definitely not that. We're definitely not seen as that anyway. Media darlings in this space, and it has gone against us, I think, in some instances. But it doesn't take away the fact that Arsenal could have been top or challenging or even closer. Because obviously, like we said, it's squad depth. In my opinion, injuries haven't been gone our way, but other teams had injuries. Bournemouth's, even Spurs at times. So it's frustrating.
And this is the thing that I want to do. Obviously, like I said, for people tuning in, you see the title of the show, and it is there for discussion because there are decisions. But Arsenal have got to look in the mirror before they start looking for excuses outside. Even on the weekend, we all celebrated Merino, and we're going my striker and number 9, and pictures of Giroud and R9, but at the same time, we shouldn't be in that situation, should we? Facts. You know what I mean? We're throwing a centre midfielder up front in a title race. You shouldn't be doing that. They didn't prepare properly in the summer. They had an opportunity to address it, a get out of jail clause, if you like, in January, and the owners have sat there and done absolutely nothing. And the manager's got to take some responsibility as well, because if you've signed 31 players and you've only signed 1 striker, the Havertz was signed as a midfielder. Jesus is the only striker that he's actually signed out of 31 players. Then I feel like they've got to look at themselves. I would hate Arsenal at the end of the season to be saying, "Oh, we didn't win the league because of VAR." I just think, you know what I mean? If you've got a striker on the pitch in a lot of those games, you're winning those games. We've had a lot of games where we've been ahead and we've ended up losing or drawing actually. So, the referees definitely that almost becomes a separate discussion for me. Look at them as a separate entity, but we haven't done our jobs properly this season. And also, I was saying the other day, man, the whole front three doing their hamstring. Is that a coincidence, or are people doing too much running? Are they training the right way? You know,
it's frustrating. And do you know what? It's a tough one because I've just seen, obviously, all I see now is photos of players. I shouldn't even smile at just doing this in the hospital bed. You see Reece Nelson.
Oh yeah, Reece, and it's a hamstring, in
hamstring as well. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's a bit mad because I was with you. I heard you talk about, all the front three is hamstrings, and I was like, that must be a system thing, an Arteta thing. But granted, like Reece he's been away on loan at Fulham, and I actually knew. Big up, listen, I speak to some Reece's people quite often, but I knew before it wasn't. He got injured on his one hamstring, and then he's had surgery now on the other one. So it wasn't the original one that was injured. So it's the other one. So he's currently in rehab, and he's obviously had his operation. You can obviously see online or on his social media that he's had his operation. But
is he out for the season as well? Yeah. Wow.
So
that's a tricky one, because then in the summer, no one's likely to. They're not going to be desperate to buy him, if on the back of that operation.
Exactly. Well, this is what's worrying. And even me, like I think Reece, well, right now you'd want Reece. I was saying anyway we can recall him. This is before I knew that he had the second hamstring injury and had to have surgery. And I was just like, but now it's kind of done for him, which is a shame. But then obviously once he's back from his loan, he's going to have to then rebuild, one himself, but also try and get a sell-on fee unless we integrate him back into the side. But I don't know how Arteta is going to, will he look to integrate him or not? It's mad, these hamstrings. There's all these injuries that keep flying in. And you mentioned Mikel Merino. Before we go into that, because we'll have I'll leave it to the end. We'll talk about it. Let me read these super chats before we go into it. Here we go. So we got Tony, 2 big C's, lol, big pause. Crazy. Crazy. I missed out on that. Didn't really compute with that one, but my bad. Sir Michael Oliver, big up or not. Where is the Don? Where is the Don? PGMOL need to speak with him. They're after him. To have a conversation with Rob, definitely, Sir Michael Oliver, mate. He said that 65k funded our night out. Cheers. He's got good answers, Mr. Michael Oliver. It's funny because again, we don't want to obviously. I'm not always going to go. It's an issue that the refereeing, but obviously I saw the Liverpool game, the red cards to slot after the game, and the extra time that was played. I think there's a big issue that needs to be. Pressure will be applied, but we're gonna move on. Mikel Merino. Now I want to get to Ethan and Mars because that's what I want to kind of speak about mainly. But let's talk about Mikel Merino while we're here, brother. Yeah, I was in at Leicester, thinking 80th minute saying, this is it, mate. We're cooked. We're cooked. Even though I think we might have discussed, we discussed Mikel Merino potentially playing there. I think before, obviously on the Tuesday show that we did. Obviously the profile is similar to Havertz in some sense. I know Lee Judges, if you saw his fan cam, he said, I actually mentioned this to Robbie. I said, it's funny, we brought in a midfielder and we're playing him up front, like with Havertz. And, it's the same kind of happened with Mikel Merino. Obviously, hopefully this, to me, I don't want it to be a long-term, I don't think it's a long-term solution if I'm being completely honest, but he took his goals very well. Very well. Question, if he starts banging, and Havertz returns, what are you saying? Havertz walk straight back in, or if Havertz say if Marino's scoring each game,
look at this guy.
Is it going to take a bit of time for him to earn his spot, or as soon as Havertz is ready?
Bro, I swear down, you know the desperation out of us, like as a fan base.
It's crazy. Great. When Lee went wacko 30 million down the drain, wacko, Marino scores again. I was dying. I was like, don't start singing that, please. Like, but listen,
we're starving for a hero, aren't we? Do you know what, by the way, I have to say, the first goal, good. I know he's good in the air. The second goal was, I was like, boy, that's serious composure. Like, just side foot. But let me just say one thing. Of course, he's not the long-term solution. We got to buy a proper striker in the summer. But we know Havertz is out until the end of the season. So for me, I'm looking at West Ham going, he's got to start against West Ham up front, because let's be real, man.
That's going to kill Sterling, Curtis.
We're here for the culture, bro. Like, look, man's got the Jamaica. Like, we're always here for the... Look, go on, you know what I mean? Look at him. We're always here for the culture, bro. But Raheem, there's only so much culture that can defend them kind of performances.
Yeah, it weren't good.
I've said for a long time with Raheem Sterling, bro, he played first team at 16 years of age. He's 30 now. If you play 14 years in the Premier League, that's heavy mileage. You can buy a nice car with a lot of mileage, bro. The engine's still a mess. Sterling's engine is a mess right now, bro. He looks like... I watched Sterling play for Arsenal. It's like he doesn't even play for Arsenal. It's like I'm looking at him. It's like it's strange that he's in an Arsenal kit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's integrated into the team. He's not getting past people. He's not getting good shots. He's crossing the ball. It's got no power. So for me, you got to go Trossard on the left. You got to go Ethan on the right. And you got to put Merino through the middle and use him as a target man, you know, because if he can finish like that. Now, obviously, the problem's going to be, is that going to work when you're playing? We got Liverpool at Anfield. We got United at Old Trafford. We got Chelsea. You might get away with it against Leicester because I think they got the second worst defense in the league. And listen, I'm shameless with it. People calling me out in the comment. I've been saying this guy Merino, you know.
Yeah, bro, I've watched it. Turns like a double-decker bus. I've seen it.
Turns like a double-decker bus. And when he scored, I was like, yo, my striker, my striker. We're desperate out here, people. We were looking at free agents, Diego Costa and that. So Merino's got a start against West Ham at home. Up front, number 9.
I do hear what you're saying. I think, do you know what's crazy? Like, I just saw someone put up the minute he come on. I forget, like, he come on late, 81 to score 2 goals, 2 chances, bang, bang. Like, but I'll be honest, I was sat in the stadium and something I spotted out. I said it in, I think, player ratings. I said, I saw Arteta going, just like, you know, like FIFA, directing him where to go, like telling him, like, defending, go here. So he's obviously, it's not his natural position, but we all know that. We know that. And it's not something that's going to come, you know, natural to be and make the runs and whatnot. But the header was good. The timing of making it back post, good ball from Trossard, making it back post and slotting that away, it will do. It has to do for now. I don't really know many other options unless we try and play Sterling into form. But like you mentioned there, like Sterling's had so many years at the top level, and we've seen young players go down with hamstring injuries. I mean, if he has to play to level we need him for the prolonged time towards the end of the season, if I'm honest, I don't know if his body can even handle it. I think Julian mentioned that he has a chronic knee injury. I don't know how true that is, but even still, he is a player of age. He's done a lot of minutes. I don't think he was brought into Arsenal to play 90 minutes every game. I don't think that was what he's brought here for. So I think if you're relying on that, we might be in problems. So it's interesting. I don't want him to get you don't want him to get a hamstring injury. I mean, we're already light on numbers. So Mikel Merino might be the one, but he just looks like he does not look like a brother. If I was a defender and you see him, you'd be like,
that's what I was saying. I was like, yo, can you imagine Van Dijk looking at Merino like, what? Like, Arsenal, is this all I got to deal with? Like, he's not going to outrun you, bro. He ain't going to muscle you. It's just what he might be is just if you can create an opportunity, maybe he can finish, you know. Havertz isn't an actual striker. And we've relied on him for large periods. So who knows? Yeah. Merino is good in the air as well, from what I've seen.
No, very good. Obviously, he was labelled like the Europe's like best aerial duel winner. So he was the king of flick-ons was the nickname that he was given before we signed him. I obviously welcome videos. I do all this research, but king of flick-ons in the air, he is a dominant force. So they say. I'll be honest. I didn't really see it before. I saw he scored one header. He scored a header before this header that he scored against Leicester as well. But I wouldn't have said from the word from before he arrived at Arsenal that he was an aerial duel winner when he was here at Arsenal. But I mean, he took his header really well. And the other goal, again, the timing was really good to slot it past the goalkeeper. So I don't mind that. I don't want. Remember we spoke about like it was going to be Trossard, Sterling, and Ethan. I was like, bro, that is a short front line, and we know as strikers that you need some sort of presence. I don't care what anyone says, whether you get it from the midfield or not. But I think when you're going for a front line, goal kicks, cross it into the box, whatever, you need a presence in there. Like Sterling against Van Dijk, or even when the balls are coming in, be like, brother, little foot, yo.
Yeah. What you do? You can't. I don't even need to jump. You know what I mean? To win that header.
So it's important that we have that sort of the height from Mikel Merino. I just don't know, because Leicester's a hard one to gauge. He took his goals off. It's hard to gauge how well or how long this will last and be successful for, in my opinion, because it's going to be better opposition. Let me run through this super chats here quickly. We've got Mr. Kaplan says, why do some sections of our fans want Arteta out? That's Mr. Kaplan, my friend Simon. I think I don't know, I think he watches your content as well. I mean,
you're applying some pressure.
A loaded question.
It's a very loaded question. My thing with Arteta, listen, and I've always said, there's no doubt there's been huge progression. You've taken us from 8th to competing. This is the 3rd season in a row title race. My question is always, how long is finishing 2nd or 3rd deemed good enough? There has to be a certain time that you say, okay, this is Arsenal. We haven't won a trophy for 5 years. There has to be a cut-off point. We can't keep saying, well done, Mikel, finish 2nd. Even if you were winning, you won another FA Cup, you won a Carabao Cup, you got to a Champions League final, you got, this football club, we walk around saying we're one of the biggest football clubs in the world, which we are, 3rd biggest in England. Mm-hmm. Surely that has to come with a demand of a trophy as well. This isn't 1 year or 2 years without a trophy. You're talking about half a decade. So it's almost like, with one hand, well done, Mikel, for the progression, but there has to be a point. Because look, we all know that Real Madrid are lurking in the background for Saliba. Saliba, every interview says, listen, for me to be known as one of the best on the planet, I need to win silverware. So I don't want people to think that I'm sitting here going, competing and getting us into 2nd is not progression. It is, but we are Arsenal. We have spent $750 million. There has to be a point that you go, we've got to win trophies, bro. Arsene Wenger in his last 5 years won 3 trophies. And they protested to get him out of the football club. So we can't then change the narrative and move the goalposts and just go, well, at least we're competing. Surely there has to be a point that you say, you've competed again. Now you're competing again, but we haven't been able to get over the finish line. 5 years at Arsenal with no trophy should not be acceptable, in my opinion, when you're having a pretty good period in the last 3 years and you've spent a lot of money. So that would be my opinion. Not everyone agrees with that, though.
Fine. And listen, that's what the super chat. Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. It was a loaded one. Like when you came onto our one and said about me.
Yeah. I knew what I was doing that day.
But I hear it. I think we need silverware. Listen, people know my thoughts. I'll buy into him, but we're definitely going to need silverware. Hopefully by the end of this season. Forever a Gunner with a super chat says, can Firmino come in as a free agent? I mean, I saw this news partly circling talking about Firmino. I think he's playing in the Saudi league. Yeah, he's like 33 years old now. I mean, is he? We got Merino. We got Mikel Merino, mate. We don't need no Firmino. But, I don't know. I mean, would I want him? Would he be better than what we have? I mean, right now we are desperate, but I think also you could have to make the free agent signings within. No, it's not even within the window. I saw, obviously the Diego Carlos and that, but for me, I think we don't need Firmino right now. I think we have to just, again, it's annoying. I hate when the words internal solutions. That's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Right, I want to do this. Let's talk youngsters. Let's talk the Ethan Nwaneri. Let's talk Miles Lewis-Skelly. Let's get into this section, which I had prepared. We're going to talk about, I think, everything around it. We touched on, Miles Lewis-Skelly and, the media attention on him. And I think it's been really unwarranted, how good he's been, but how good he's been and the flack that he's getting from rival fans. I've seen some stuff from rival fans online as well. But he's been a superstar, and I kind of want to, let's start with him first. So let's start with him with saying he's 18 years old, Curtis. Yeah, so he's 18 years old. He's flying. He's made that position his own. Like, listen, Calafiori is an international player, done incredible in the Euros, scored some important goals for Arsenal as well. But if I'm honest, when I look at my left back, I say, oh, Miles Lewis-Skelly in there. And even so much so that Thomas Tuchel's obviously coming to watch, him, because that position for England has never been, great. So that is a massive credit to him at that age, at 18 years old. And Ethan Nwaneri, the same. This kid is fake, if I'm honest. He's ridiculous. I don't know what pundit said it, but it was like, I don't want to say it, but like, it's Messi like. And I've heard
Joe Cole
said Messi like. I said, wow. That's because then what the internet does. To say that is crazy. I've seen Robbie say about he's like our Lamine Yamal. He's amazing. I've seen a lot of discourse, which we're going to talk about in a second, about where can he fit in once Saka's back. But let's talk about both of them. So 18-year-old Miles Lewis-Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri is 17. By the way, he's not 18 till March, like end of March. So still very young. Let's talk. Where were you, firstly, around that age? Because we played the game. This is why I want you guys to come here every Tuesday and understand. We're going to talk from a player's perspective. 17 years old, there was talk about Mikel Arteta trying to protect him when he would, like, from the first team. I mean, where it's showering, where it's just like being around them too much, keeping him, young and youthful. When you was that age, I don't know if you was at a club 17, let's do 17, 18 times. Were you being, was your club being like protected? I mean, we got some images here. We'll go to around this time of your age.
Look at this guy. Look, this is a problem when you come on here, they start fighting. Hey, listen, Mikel, free agent, till the end of the season. I need at least a month and a half to get fit, though. I can't lie. But
Mansfield Town, hey, good level, I must say. But like, yeah. So that age, were you playing up? Were you obviously you was at a professional club there? But I'm just trying to remember when I'm gonna go back to obviously when I was playing as well at my time. But what was it like for you around that time? Because you got to think about what these kids are going through right now.
Do you know what? I'll be honest, bro. Like, and you'll probably feel the same way. I'll let you explain it. But for me, it was like playing in those leagues. I felt like you wasn't as protected as maybe they're going to try and protect Ethan and those guys, because I always say, like, in them lower leagues, these guys are fighting for like their mortgage, bro. You know what I mean? You're on a 1-year deal. You might be moving club every couple of years. These guys are already like financially, they're going to be secure within the next year or two. Ethan's next deal will be thousands of pounds a week. Miles Lewis-Skelly, they're talking about a new deal already. So I feel like you can take them out, you can look after them, you can take your time. With us at that league, it's like, is he good enough? Oh, he's 17, 18. Okay, get him in the squad. Throw him in. Can he handle it in the team? If he can, keep playing him. If he can't, get him out. I just feel like it was a lot more cutthroat than it is in the Premier League, in the sense, because you get a long-term contract. You've got sort of time to, figure out what kind of player you're going to be, where I feel like at our level, just as an example, I was at a club, the manager went, the new manager came in, and he was like, I don't really want to play any of the young players because we're in a difficult situation, and it all sounds crazy, but it was like, it was winter time, League Two, and that the pitches are poor. New manager comes in, he's thinking, I don't want to throw 18-year-olds in there. I'm going to go and sign some 30-year-olds that I know. We're going to play more direct. We're going to be harder to beat. And they look at you sometimes as a young player as you might be seen as a liability because you're still young to the situation. So it's just very different. It's very different. As a young player in those leagues, you always wanted to be in those higher leagues because little details, you wanted to play on the better pitch, the better ball, the better. That I always felt the higher up was easier technically as well, because players were just on a higher wavelength. You wanted the ball to feet, it arrived, and you make a run, they find you without even thinking about it. So I think the game was very different lower down. Somebody mentioned Vardy there. Actually, I remember I actually played against Vardy. He was at Fleetwood.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, he was at Fleetwood, man, and he was like just rapid. He just never stopped running. Amazing work rate, proper finisher. He got top scorer, and then Leicester signed him for £1 million. I remember thinking that's a big jump because he went to the Championship, and then obviously Leicester got promoted. He did all right there, and then he went to the Prem, and I'm sitting there thinking, Ross, like 3 years ago, I was playing against this guy. This guy's in the Prem. He broke the record. I think, didn't he score like 11 games in a row and then won the title and playing for England? I'm sitting there thinking, this guy's in the Prem. I'm in the Conference South. What have I done wrong? You know what I mean? He's gone higher up the ladder. I'm hanging on to the ladder. But, it's the beauty of the game, man.
Honestly, I find it so fascinating because you said, players you play with could just jump and just make careers.
Yeah.
But it's just, to me, I find it so fascinating. Like, I look at Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan, and I look at it here like, Curtis, that could have been us.
Oh, bro. I mean, you know what? When I was playing it, it probably weren't Dre Beats headphones. I can't lie. I might have had a Walkman and a cassette, Sony and that. But no, it's do you know what though? In regards to those two, I would say more Ethan, because I suppose we were more thinking about he would get game time on pre-season. But Lewis Skelly has surprised me more because natural midfielder has gone in at left back. You look at the bench, you've got Calafiori 40 million, Zinchenko 35 million, Tierney 25 million, Kivior 20 million. These are 4 players that have all played at left back for us. And your 18-year-old centre mid out of the youth team is playing at left back ahead of £100 million worth of internationals. That is unbelievable. And people have to remember, Trent came out as a midfielder. Now he's on his way to Real Madrid. Not that we want Lewis Skelly to leave, but I'm saying he's an elite right back. So, but Ethan, and there could be attacking tax attached to this. When I watch Ethan play, I just think, wow. I watch him play, I think, you're unbelievable. He's probably, for me at the moment, the most exciting player to watch at Arsenal. Like, I would watch him over any Arsenal player at the moment.
Everyone, if they were fit, even like...
Yeah, I'm putting him in there. In terms of not in terms of him being better. He's not better than Saka, of course. But I feel like Saka's more structured as a player. We kind of know what he's going to do. That unknown element of Ethan Nwaneri makes him so exciting. He went on his left foot, whipped it, hit the crossbar. Then he goes on his right foot, smashes it against the post. I'm like, he's dropping step overs. Then the assist. I'm like, this guy. You don't want to get too carried away because we've seen players get in the team, have a good little run, and then they fade. But if he's managed in the right way, he's unbelievable. I think the biggest problem is what happens when Saka comes back. Where does he move?
Let's talk about it then, because, and don't worry, I'm going to get up my picture in a second. Don't worry. People.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's your picture? Because I ain't got no control here, you know.
I want to get my picture as well. But let's talk about it, because when Saka returns, which we're going to get into the news about that as well, because they're saying that after international break, they're trying to, him and Martinelli might be returning, but we're going to get into that at some point. But let's talk about when Saka does return, does Ethan have to hold the bench? I think as a young player, of course he's a young player. It actually blows my mind to keep saying he's 17, but like he's going to be wanting to look at, you know, the national team. I know that he's very young, but I'm sorry, Saka's out for this next break on March. He's going to want to keep having a run of games. He's going to want to keep providing for Arsenal while Saka's out. And hopefully he'll get a look in, not just Miles Lewis-Skelly for England, but also Ethan Nwaneri. But then once Saka's back, is that a problem? How do you fit both of them in, Curtis? How do you, because I know what I would do. But how would you play them both, or does it Ethan Nwaneri has to just hold the bench?
No, he's got to play. Got to play. Don't hold him back. How did England find Rooney and Owen and whatever young star, you know, that came through? Let's say Jack Wilshere and Fabregas. Fabregas playing for Arsenal at 16, 17, bro. Baggy shirt going up against Vieira.
And
like, I'm bossing. Are we saying that Martinelli and Trossard have been better than Ethan? Like, they're not. He's doing things in 2 games that I haven't seen those guys do for months, to be honest. Like, he looks so confident. Now, the reality is one of them's got to go on the left. You've got to figure out who's more comfortable there. You know, that's the question. But I want them both in the team. I don't want Nwaneri to get dropped because Saka's back. And also, I don't think Saka's injury is one of them injuries that you just, right, you're back, you're fit, you're starting every game, you're playing 90 minutes, but you're going to have to manage him through the games and take him off, bench him here. So, but Ethan has to play in this team at the moment. He's a menace already.
That's crazy. And the funny thing is, I massively agree. So my thing is, I would have put Ethan on the left and then kept Saka on the right. However, I then thought, but then Lewis Skelly has to play left back. 2 youngsters on that left side. That is something you really would target if you're
playing. Would you go Saka on the left? Would you for a bit?
I mean, does it feel bad pushing the star boy up his position, or is that fair? Like, how do you sit down and
do a job for us on the left? Do a job, mate. Ethan,
17-year-old. I'll be honest, he's doing well, Saka, mate. Can we just go on the other side?
Listen, I said this on my show the other day, right? I said, when Saka comes back, play him on the left and leave Ethan on the right. And some people were going crazy. I said, let me tell you 2 reasons why I would do that. Ethan is in a zone where he's comfortable. He looks very comfortable on that right-hand side and he's fully fit. Saka doesn't need to come in and just play. If, let's say, the title slips away from us or we get knocked out of the Champions League, I don't even think you need to play Saka every week. Maybe get him to the end of the season. Rafinha was playing right wing for Barcelona. Lamine Yamal comes into the team on the right-hand side as a 16-year-old. Rafinha moves to the left. Rafinha's had the best season probably of his whole career on the left.
Yeah.
While Lamine Yamal's probably rated as the best young player in world football. So people don't have to think that playing Ethan on the right and maybe putting Saka on the left is a disrespect. It could be a way of just managing it till the end of the season. Yeah, like you could Saka play up front? Who knows? Like,
could Ethan play up front? I know we need height. I understand that, but you might have to put. I don't know. I think Arteta might have to change maybe a style of formation. But I don't know what. I just like you said. I think you have to get them both in the team in some capacity. Now the news. It's not news, but people, if you're paying attention to the Champions League,
are out. Yeah.
AC Milan are out by Feyenoord, and there was me saying. Yeah. I want Feyenoord. I'll be honest. PSV. Let me keep it real with you. PSV, the away journey and where they stick us, I hate it. Secondly, away, PSV is not an easy task away. I know at home we've slapped them, but away we've actually struggled in the past couple times away against them. Who else? Yeah. Juve. I don't want to be. You don't want Juve. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in Juve. Don't really want Juve. The other one was the AC Milan. I'm shocked that Feyenoord. I thought I wanted Feyenoord, but now I'm like.
Home. Yeah, they had a man sent off for Milan, although I think it was
Teo Hernandez.
Yeah,
Teo Hernandez. 51 minutes. That's
51 minutes. Yeah, so it's cut, and they've conceded after the red card. So I didn't want Milan because I was just thinking Heritage, San Siro, Leao's one of them players that can just rip you apart. They got Jimenez up front, so I'm very surprised. I would still rather play Feyenoord though out of the other three. Yeah, I think PSV are top of the Dutch league as well. But Feyenoord have got a new manager and they seem to have rejuvenated a little bit. But yeah, Milan. Listen, you've got to be beating Feyenoord over 2 legs. If we get Feyenoord, we've got to be beating them. Second leg at the end.
Say that, bro, but we have it. This is the thing. I just don't know where we are right now as Arsenal because it's like you're right. I think out of those 4 teams, you'd go, okay. I had said this from before. I want Feyenoord. That's the team I want. You'd hope Arsenal can beat them, but then you look at the players we have, who's going to be fit and available. Is it too much of an ask? I think it shouldn't be, especially if you're a fan that's holding on to the hopes that you might get a lucky pathway to the final and Arsenal could potentially win the Champions League. Then you would expect Arsenal to beat Feyenoord. But yeah, I mean, you have to hope, we have to believe. I mean, it's quite a shock that Milan are out because you just spoke about it there. They've got heritage in this competition, but they're gone. That guy Yasin says there, bye Milan. I'm going to read through. I'm going to go back to the youngsters. That's the breaking news so far. The update, people, that Milan are out. That leaves us with Feyenoord, Juve, and PSV. But PSV again, I'm trying to stay away from them personally. Played them enough times, and I think away is tough. I know it's over 2 legs, but I don't know. I'd rather have Feyenoord. Let me just go back to these super chats I've missed here. So quickly, Forever Gunner, your thoughts on Max Downham? Now we'll cover everything. We'll cover everything in straight after this because. We're going to talk about the youngsters as a whole. SC Guna says, big up C, big up Cecil, big up SC Guna as well. Love for the love. Guna Cannon 29 says, see you Saturday, Cecil. Much love, lads. Big up, see you Saturday. We'll be there. And then Simon, big up Mr. Kaplan again, says, your advice to our youngsters, case study, Chida Obi Martin. I mean, my advice is, obviously, I speak to a lot of young players from my company every week. I think the players right now at Arsenal, I think you just got to, I don't want to say trust the process, but it's clear that, they're getting opportunities. That happens in football. I think people are quick to run. I know Chidi Obi Martin, I think Robbie always says it's about the money, but also I know that Man United gave him kind of a pathway as the 3rd striker in line to play. And obviously at Arsenal, there was a pathway of like under 18s for Chidu. Then they were playing under 23s. Then eventually you'll be in the first team. I think he just wanted a kind of a quick fast track to the first team, which I understand as a youngster. You want that. But with the amount of football that's going on, the agents and people should be aware that injuries are happening. It's not even just from Arsenal, all over the Premier League. You're going to get an opportunity if you're good enough. Now, that is I think with
Chido Obi, it was difficult because from what we hear, United doubled his wages. From what I read, we offered 15, they give him 30. If you're 16, 17 years of age and people are offering you 30 grand a week, bro. And they're saying, look, Hoyland, Xerxes, your 3rd choice. One of them gets injured, you're on the bench. at the time, we probably Jesus and Havertz would have been available. Trossard's played false 9. He probably didn't see a route into the first team. Plus, he knew that Arsenal are looking to buy a striker. The sad thing is now, if he was available, he would be at least on the bench. He might even have got a start in certain games. But it's difficult, man. These agents, you need the right agent, don't you? You need the right advice, right people around you, man.
Massively. We know that from being in the game that they have a big impact on where you go, what you do, and at times how you think and decisions you make, which can lead to you staying in the game or leaving the game. My time now, just quickly.
Come on, where's the picture at, man? I want to watch out!
Watch out!
Watch out!
Young C, you know.
Watch him!
I mean that. so quickly, for people that were looking on the left, obviously I was at Crawley Town, but I was on loan there. Not loan at Crawley Town, on loan on the left, Tooting and Mitcham first team. So that was me, 17 years old. Come on, young Ethan. Look,
young Eve. Was Mikel
Antonio? I googled that this week, to double check. He was there before me. Me. But he didn't leave too long after I got there. I was there starting number 9. I was on loan from Crawley and I was there for a long time. And I always talk about Tooting. But the reason why I'm bringing up these photos because like at that age and that other photo, sorry, just quickly, that other photo on the right is obviously that was my first team debut. Actually, it was in a cup game for Crawley. That the reason why I bring this up because obviously Carragher spoke. I think Carragher spoke about the youngsters being integrated into the first team and them being protected and whatnot. But I was thinking, I think when I trained with the first team, they're right. I didn't really shower with them or whatnot. I used to go back after training, like they used to get sent back and whatnot. But when it was match day, like that cup game when I played with the first team, I never went back. You're with they want us to stay around the first team, be with them, be in the change room, just see how your character is around them. I think Ethan and Miles, by the way, I'm going to put their photo up here. Like they clearly have like the right attitude, the right mentality, even the way they play the game.
Oh, look at it.
What the flip is this? Get that on Ryan. You want to play games? You want to play games? This is the production guy.
This is production, people. Welsh Beckham, he thought he was.
I can't, let me delete that, you cheeky. As if we popped that up. Oh my days. All right, so that's Ryan, people. He was actually a professional footballer as well. So you're in good company. When we're on these streams, you're in good company of players that have been in the game. Obviously not to the Premier League level, but we played a game. Ryan was he was high up in I think Wales as well. He had a big career. He played in Europa League as well. But you cheeky. I didn't even. They're gonna clip me, bro. But yeah, no, I was going back to like the youngsters, and that's killed me. Their mindset, their mentality, the way they play is phenomenal. And I know there's in the media they've said got to try and protect them and whatnot. And you said it as well, like you don't want to big them up too much because it happens with a lot of young players, and some don't really hit the heights. But I feel like Ethan and Mars are just built from a different cloth. I don't know what it is, and they're being integrated correctly. I think Ethan especially. I think Mars Lewis Skelly is he's earned his right to hold that position, the way he's come from midfield. So he's clearly got that midfield, nous. And I think back in my day, look at me saying,
when you start saying that, right? And I'm older than you, by the way, so.
Do you know what I was going to say?
That's when it's a problem. Back in my day,
I was going to say midfielders tend to get pulled back into the fullback, or it's a winger that's not really. He's more defensive, so they get dragged back into fullback. But I think it's worked well for Mars Lewis. I think it makes him more versatile. I think going forward in his career, he might end up back in midfield. But it's just mad to see the confidence that they possess and what they do in an Arsenal shirt. And right now, they're outshining, for me personally, the rest of the players that are there who are on big money, some are internationals. These two youngsters are outshining all of them.
Bro, I said that, on the watch along. I said, listen, Nwaneri today has been unbelievable. I said, if I was Trossard and Sterling, I'm sitting there. I mean, Sterling might just be thinking, you know what, bro? My career's behind me. My trophy cabinet's full. The bank's full. I'm just seeing out my career.
He had that impact. He come through young, FA Youth Cup, Liverpool. Yeah, he's kind of had them sparks. Yeah, playing at Liverpool, then moved. So he might be thinking.
You got to have a little something like, little 17-year-olds like. Every time he gets the ball, I mean, I watched the highlights thing back after as well. And I'm like, nearly every time this guy got the ball, he made something happen. He drifted through the two players. He hit the bar, he hit the post, he got an assist. And the thing that's going to happen to Ethan now is they're going to start doubling up on him now because they can see he's the danger man. That's sometimes when your game has to go up to even another level, because you at the start, you're that youngster, we don't know, you go 1v1. Now they're going to go, if you play against Arsenal, he's the biggest threat.
Yeah.
So this is where they might start, being a bit more, kick him down a little bit. And so he's got to be careful. They do have to manage him properly as well.
Yeah. I think Ethan more so, because Miles seems kind of up for it. I saw when
he looks like he's up for it, man. He's
on it, because someone bodied Gabriel, I remember, in the game, and Miles was there trying to back him.
He was there wanting. The one thing I would say now to Mikel and everyone with Ethan, just let him be a free spirit. Don't overcoach this guy, because I think that's what looks so good about him. It's like he's getting the ball, he's playing his own game. I'm going to run at you, I'm going to take you on, I'm going to create something. We don't want him to become, because you look at Martinelli and you think, the Martinelli 2 years ago, 15 goals, ripping up Trent, ripping up Cancelo in the Brazil squad. You look at him now, it's like, plays like a robot almost.
Yeah.
I want Nwaneri to just remain that free spirit that just takes people on. And I love the fact, that one where he hit the ball with his left foot where he cut inside. Declan Rice is shouting at him like, pass the ball. Bro, don't worry, man. Ignore him. If you feel like, if you're confident you're going to score, take the shot, hit the ball, don't worry about him. Walk away from him and just, so let him be that raw talent, man. Don't make him too
robot.
Man.
Untouched by the system, and I agree with you there, man. They're killing some players are getting killed through that, and I think that's why I like that he's an attacker. And people forget that he has played as a striker as well. I think that is where you can kind of express yourself. But when the team is so, I think, coached, I think Arsenal was definitely an example of that. You might lose that, but Ethan, like you said, every time he got on the ball, he was just like, let me just do my thing, bro. Like, you, man. You've had your time, yeah. let me just do what I'm good at, bro, and then we'll see what happens. And it's funny, he was taking a corner and he was walking over, and like the fans were just singing his name, and he just didn't even like look up or anything. He's focused. I love that. I want him to just be in the moment. And I think I was sitting next to a fan that said, take the corner, run with it, just do it yourself. Like, don't even think across it. That's 17, and we're like, just do it all, brother, please. But
but you know what it's like, bro. Sometimes at that age you're more fearless. I said this before. When you're like young, you go to the water park, you just go on the highest one. You know what I mean? You don't care. Now I'm climbing up, I'm going, that screw looks a bit rusty, man. What if I go down and it drops out? And when you get older, you get a bit more conservative with things. He just looks like, I'm 17, bro. Just give me the ball. I'm gonna rip people apart. And even when we saw him on the tour, bro, he's very humble and quiet. He still probably feels a bit. What was very interesting in his interview, he was very complimentary of Sterling and sort of saying, look, he's a big influence in the dressing room. He's given us a lot of advice. And I know we as fans probably don't appreciate that at the moment, because we're just going, Sterling's washed. He's not doing anything. I've seen people saying just send him back to Chelsea. But when you are 17, it is important that you've got people that you can just lean on in the changing room and say, because he's going to have a game this season where he doesn't play well or the left back gets the better of him. And he's going to need someone to just say, oh, man, don't worry, man. That's part of football. Keep doing your thing. So Sterling might just be a cheerleader this season, people. Even if he ain't doing much on the pitch, just at least mentor the youngsters. And, those things do count.
Facts. But take yourself back to when we was on tour as well. Like, don't forget, like, remember, Jesus was sat in the middle of the pitch after training just chatting to Mars Lewis, Skelly and Ethan. He was just chatting to them for time. Like, and I remember we captured, I wish I had the photo of them two them three just all chatting. So it's good that they're trying to get the advice, and people that have been there. Let's not forget, Jesus, he's an international at the end of the day. I know he's not hit the heights that, I think Arsenal fans wanted to see of Jesus. He's still a good player, but he's had experiences that I think will, they will lend to the progression and the growth of these young players. So it's good. They've got the right mentality. I just always forget, these men are 17 and 18. Like, yes, we was at clubs when we was that age. So I'm not gonna let's not get that. Let's make that clear. We was at professional clubs at that age, but this is Arsenal Football Club, and it's not that we're just they're not just at the Arsenal. We're looking at them like, yo, we we need you lot. We need you
Yeah.
both to be on your A game. They have been. They've been phenomenal, but it's mental to me to think these men are still in their teens and we're gonna need them. Like they could be, no matter how we might go far in the Champions League, they could be the ones that really get us, through these games in the Champions League at 17 and 18. And of course, there's been youngsters that have broke through before in other teams, but these kids are just, I think they're phenomenal. I just had to just do a whole section on that. And
yeah,
listen,
no, it's a great topic, man. It is a great topic, and
important.
I think with Ethan, I think that is the one major positive out of the injuries. Because listen, the injuries have terrorized our season, but it's almost forced Arteta to go, I have to play him. I have to play him, and you just think if everyone was fit, how much game time would he have got? And we would be going, well, he's a talent, but we haven't really seen him. And then sometimes you lose those players as well. You know, because we know everyone was trying to get Ethan Nwaneri, so that's the one positive thing out of the injuries, that he's burst onto the scene. Hopefully he's, his contract's secure long term, and hopefully he's a superstar,
Well, that's it. And these are our assets now. Like, granted, we've got, the left backs we already mentioned, but you got to put your stock into these youngsters because clubs are going to want to sniff around and take them. Same with Ethan. Like, I know you want to, Saka's our star boy, so you want to keep him happy and keep him in the side, but I don't want players coming in for Ethan as well. So, like you said, play them both and you have to just make it work, but you've got to balance both of them. And I don't think Ethan hasn't got an ego, but he's going to realize, like, when you play in a game, and you're doing what he's doing, he's going to be thinking, raw, like, yeah, we're second in the league, but you man aren't really doing too. I don't want to go. It sounds bad.
He's looking at them, man, like, yo, I might be the best player in this team right now.
Listen, I don't know if that's what he's thinking, but I know if I was there and I was him, I'll be thinking, raw. Okay. Are you? Yeah, this. Okay. You lot need to make sure.
He's a human being, man. He might not be saying it publicly, but I'm telling you, when he's in his house and he's looking at the game back, he's going, "Bro, Trossard, Belgium international, Sterling, 4 titles, and they're giving the ball to me. I'm the go-to guy, bro. Like,
look what I'm doing.
Yeah, look at the end product.
Yeah, man. Listen. Good topic. And obviously, World Cup's coming up. These men are going to be. I hope they make the nationals team. So it's big for them. But it's a good topic we touched on there. We are coming slowly towards the end. Let me read some super chats. I have to talk about the last thing, which may make us overrun a tiny bit, but it is what it is. Brio with a super chat says, "Ballers don't look at the ball; they know where it is." Great, amazing. Let me just see some images there, because you're right. Head up. Check this one. My head's up. The ball's coming through there. Yeah, look at Curtis. The ball, that head's up.
Head up, man. I ain't even looking at the ball.
Come on, G. This one. Okay, I'm looking at that one. Oh, sugar.
Man's looking straight down. Man's doing a Martinelli.
But Brio, you're right there, man. Ballers, they know where the ball is. Just ignore that last one that I put up. Michael with super just says, my sister wants to know. Yeah, Michael, relax, chill. Michael. C. I mean, we're both called C, so
that's you, man. It's the E after the C, so it's you, bro.
This ain't Love Island. Mr. Kaplan back with a super chat says, boys, biggest game you've ever played. What did you learn? To be fair, for me, I'm like, Curtis has played more professional games than me. He's had a bit bigger professional career than me. That one in the cup game for me was massive. I learned to I was playing with an international guy called Joe Walsh as well. He was in Ireland international. He was playing with Bale at the time, funny enough. But again, those sort of moments, playing with senior players and realizing that's what it is. I think when you're in a team, you go into first team and you realize that's the biggest learning thing. Like, oh, I can run with these lot. It's not like it's If you're bled incorrectly, like, or you're good enough of a player, you don't feel like you're playing first team football. You just feel like, okay, I was meant to be in here. Yeah, it's football. Yeah. That's it. That's literally it.
That's for me, like, it wasn't my biggest game, but like just Edgar Davids. Played against Edgar Davids when he was at Barnet. Yeah, he was Barnet player manager.
Yeah, he was player manager. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We played Barnet, and he was playing centre mid. And just growing up, the Nike advert and that, all these R9s and that, and he played in the goggles as well, orange. You know what I mean? Because obviously it's some health thing with his eyes. I'm just looking like, yo, this is Edgar Davids, bro, from the Nike advert. But like you said, once the game starts, you're like, Yeah, he's just a human being, bro. Just run past him and brush him off. And plus, I had a bit of attitude when I was younger.
Yeah, same.
And because some people would say I still have, but because he was ex-Tottenham as well, I had a bit of like, you know what I mean? Because before the game, one of my friends played for Barnet. They were calling him Mister. They didn't even call him like Edgar, and they're calling him Mister. I was like, why are you calling this guy Mister? He was like, because when he was in Italy, Capello used to make the players call him Mister, some Italian thing like that, right? So because I was playing against him, and obviously they were all being very disciplined, I was calling him Eddie and that, like, yo, Eddie, you know what I mean? And he was just looking at me like, yo, who's this you doing this to me? But I'm like, I'm not on your team, bro. I don't care. But yeah, just that thing of like realizing that I seen Ian Wright say the other day, like when he played against Zidane, it was like he was an alien on the pitch.
Yeah.
Like, he just couldn't believe how good he was. But at the same time, you've just got to, you know what I mean? Just let them know, I'm here as well. So, yeah.
Facts. Love that. Big up for that super chat. Daniel Skilton says, watch Arteta's interview after Leicester game. He's saying he's been very cautious with Ethan and wanted him to go. He has been very cautious with Ethan and wanted him to go express himself. And yeah, I mean, I know Arteta's trying to. Listen, we get it. They're youngsters. We spoke about it so much in this live, but again, you don't want to kill the creativity. Like you said, when you're young, you're fearless, man.
Yeah,
and we love that as fans to see as well, man. We love that. I want to see that, and especially when Saka's injured. Odegaard, if I'm honest, hasn't been that maverick that I've enjoyed recently watching. So Ethan's the one I'm like, get him on the like. You want to watch him. You'd pay to watch him, like, because he's that good. And that's mad to say for a 17-year-old, but you would honestly pay to watch him. So we don't want to get that killed from him there. We want to keep that in his game. And Brio back with super chat says, are the best attackers actually coached? Or are the defensive responsibilities coached? You can't coach chemistry. It's about trust. Yeah.
It's a good question.
It is. Are the best attackers actually coached? I think when I was coming through, like, football was coach up until the halfway line. Once you get into the final third, like, it's up to you lot. Like, go and be creative, go and do your magic. But I don't know if that's still the case. I mean, I go to football clubs every week and speak to young academies, young pros. But do you know what? Tomorrow, funny enough, I'm going Ipswich. I'll ask him that. Thank you for that super chat. I'll ask him, like, lots of strikers. Yeah, like, are you being coached in the box and whatnot? Because we never really had that. I think
listen, they have to have a little bit of coaching, obviously structure and that. But I think if you look back through the years, man, and the best attacking players, I think they all felt like free spirits. I remember Rijkaard doing an interview about Ronaldinho. He said, I can't coach him. He said, what can I teach him about football? He said, all I can do is keep him fit by training. I think Messi and these guys, you've just got to let them play off that instinct. And it's just natural, innit? They know how to score and win you a game. I think that's been taken out of players a lot of the time. I think individual brilliance has been taken out of football a lot nowadays for the system and Pep and all the kind of following that blueprint. Where's the next Ronaldinho? Where's the next Neymar? Where's the next, those kind of players? But I suppose it's a different time. Ethan, did you just say?
Don't hit me. It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't do it, people.
They've clipped that already, man. They've clipped it.
But yeah, no, you're right. I think defensive responsibilities, that can be coached, I think, but it's a shame because then I think that kills sometimes when you're working so hard backwards, it kills you going forward. When I was playing anyway, I want to have all my energy to go and score goals and express myself. So, but that is the game these days. I think they want strikers to be able to drop in, link up play and score goals and defend like counters and stuff. So that's just where we're at right now. But hopefully, we can keep the creativity in these players. It's footy, not soccer, says Mr. Shaw. Wagwan, your channel, you left C Unit hanging.
I'm back tomorrow, people. 2 days off, you know what I mean? 2 days. I'm back tomorrow.
Half term, man.
Yeah, it's half term, man. There's a lot going on, but yeah, I'm back tomorrow. Watch along tomorrow night as well.
Amen. All right, then lastly, before we close off, and I'll take some comments and stuff. There's word, Martinelli and Bukayo Saka actually have the news here. Mikel Arteta is hoping to call on both Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli after the next international break, according to the latest reports. Now, thank you guys. Big up Zara. But talk to me, Curtis, because you're the one. It's you, brother. It's you that says Saka, I think, is going to be back. But then Robbie, I've seen him do interviews with doctors and stuff. and saying like,
Yeah, I've seen it.
it's 6 months and there's no way Saka's going to be back. So now I'll be honest. You want the truth from me? I don't know, because they're saying Saka and Martinelli's back. I've seen Kai Havertz have his surgery and he's out for the season. I've seen Reece Nelson. Granted, they're a bit closer to the time that we are today. But I'm like, are they going to be back? Do I want them back? Do I really want Saka to come back and we force him in, and then he gets injured, a serious career-ending injury because we've rushed him back? No. But then again, are we going to be in the Champions League semis, quarters, and I need Saka? I don't know. What your thoughts on the whole Mikel Arteta saying Gabriel Martinelli and Saka after the international break, which by the way is not that long, back end of March, early April. Do you want to see them back? Would you rather them just chill off, or is it more important for you for Arsenal to push and bring them back and get a trophy?
I think Martinelli definitely will be back because he pulled his hamstring, right? So
yeah,
that's
saying it's not as serious.
4 to 6 weeks. So yeah, he should be fine. With Saka, my opinion on what should happen and what will happen are not necessarily the same answer. As I said to you last week, bro, if Saka gets the okay from the doctors and the physio that you are now available for selection, how do you stop him from playing? Now, yeah, maybe there you need a strong manager to say, look, we're not going to force you back this season. But let's say Saka's available from the beginning of April. Are they going to make him miss April and May of a season when we might be still playing for trophies? So what I said on the show last week was I think Saka will play for Arsenal this season. A lot of people have said season over. I think he'll play in probably around April. I don't see March being anywhere near a game, but he got injured at the end of December. So what? January, February, March, that's your 3 months. April, that's 4 months. I think Saka will be back involved sometime in April. I mean, when the international break is like, there, right? After the Chelsea game, I think.
Yeah,
there's the 2 week break. So 1st of April is Fulham, which start of April, I think you'll see Saka back in training.
Really? Okay, back in training, not on the. So you wouldn't be on the bench, would you say, for Fulham game?
Maybe not, man. Maybe not straight away. But listen, after how many weeks of training, I saw a thing that Elise was out with the same injury for 12 weeks, and he was back in the Crystal Palace squad after 12 weeks. Now, obviously, the severity can be different, but these young athletes, with the way they heal and the doctors, this isn't me saying I believe he should be playing, by the way, that soon, but I think he will be. I think he'll play for Arsenal probably sometime in April, especially if we're still in the Champions League.
No, I hear you. Obviously, Killer there says Ethan needs to take Martinelli's spot on the left wing if Saka comes back. Now, that was, I'll be honest, Killer, big up, because that was my thoughts initially. But then again, I go to Mars Lewis Skelly and Ethan on the same wing. Are people happy with that? Let me know. I don't know if that's something that people will be happy with. I think it's just a very young left-sided, Arsenal side, if I'm honest. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's a tough one for me. And then obviously the games that they're missing, Martinelli and Saka, we said it here, West Ham obviously this weekend, Forest, Man United. The last one will be Chelsea before the international break. There's obviously Champions League games in between that, which we'll find out on Friday. Make sure you guys check us out on live. We're going to be live doing the reaction to the draw. But then they'll be back. They're saying, okay, early April, which is again, Fulham, Everton away, Brentford. There's a lot of games, and obviously there'll be another Champions League, I think, game in there as well if we're through. Ipswich away. These are games that are quite important.
Do you know the only thing I would say about that, bro? You look at them games in April. Yeah, I would say you do not need to rush Saka back for those. Like, I'm not saying we'll win all of them, but do you know what I mean? Fulham at home, Everton, Brentford, Ipswich, Palace. I'm not saying we'll win all those games, but there isn't a game there that I'm like, we need Saka to be rushed back for that game. Even if you bring him off the bench for 10 minutes, then the next game he doesn't, ease him back into it. To me, if you've got to kind of go off how well we're doing in the competitions. If we're in the Champions League quarterfinal, semi-final, you might have to go, do you know what? We might, if he's fit and available, we might have to use him. If we're still in the league mix later on in April, you might use him. If it falls away and we're too many points behind, then I'd kind of say, okay, let's not rush him. But it's a tricky one, man. I just think he's going to play. He's the face of the club. They probably see him as the best player. been out since December. He's getting all this treatment. He's going to the Arsenal games. He was at the Arsenal women's game. He went on the tour with them. I just think they will be desperate to get him back. Because can you imagine if we was in a decent position in April with what we've got at the moment, and then you've got a Martinelli and Saka coming back? Even though Martinelli hasn't been great, at least it gives us options. So
yeah,
and Ben White's back now as well, and so it just helps. But I would like to think that maybe we can get past the Feyenoord or somebody, and then in the quarterfinals, maybe you look at it then. But and that will be there. By the way, Saka will be our January signing in a sense. He's back.
Like a new signing.
They might even unveil him in a video. You might have to dance, you know what I mean, outside the Emirates.
Imagine.
Saka's back.
They'll have a new range. Saka back. Saka back.
Saka back merch, people in the armory, you know. No man, Saka back will be crazy.
Do you know what? I wouldn't even put it past him. I shouldn't joke. I shouldn't even joke, bro. Imagine we get through the round of 16. He's back for the quarters. Saka back, new merch, little chili, returning.
Yeah, Backer. I like that one, Backer.
Backer, that's class. That's class. Backer.
Bro, they brought out 2 new merch last week. Two, in the same week.
I know. Back, oh, bloody hell, backsack bags. Anyway, listen, guys. Before we close, we rattled through so much in this live. Had a good laugh, good joke. Obviously, the audio for the VAR decision of Mars Lewis Skelly being red carded at Wolves has been released. Go check it out. We started with that, then we kind of transcended onto just VAR and the issues it's caused, and it's not competent in my opinion, but the problems around it, and how we actually gave some solutions to what they can do. Have people just trained specifically for VAR that are not friends with the people that are refereeing the game. Then we kind of moved on to the decisions and how they affected Arsenal and in the title race. And there's a table that's been put online about where we'd be. We'd still be second, but be closer to Liverpool with 2 points if the decisions were the correct, and that's for all teams. Moved on to again, the £65,000 fine that we got for protesting the red card. But then we listen, it was a long beginning about this, but then we moved on to a good conversation around the youngsters, the star boys that we have, the Mars Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri. Spoke about Mikel Merino. Loads of stuff. There's actually loads. Obviously, the return of Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. I'm doing the reel off here. I want to also quickly mention there'll be probably a video on this as well on AFTV. So check it out. Tomiyasu has undergone surgery. So he has undergone surgery. Another photo which we mentioned of. We see all our players injured, doing the thumbs up and all that. I've got the photo from my group chat here. He's doing the same thing. I can't obviously pop up on the screen right now, but you might be able to see there's Tomiyasu there. Thumbs up. He's had undergone surgery on his knee. So there'll be a video on AFTV as well, breaking that down as well, on obviously everything around that. The forgotten man, but Tomiyasu has undergone. It seems like it's been successful. And then lastly, AC Milan. I mean, they're out. Feyenoord are still in. We could be facing them. Obviously, the draw will be on Friday. We've obviously got Juventus and the PSV to play to find out who we're playing. But yeah, man, that's it. Curtis, it's been a pleasure. I do want to just want to finish off by popping up. So obviously, we spoke about the youngsters. We spoke about us as youngsters. We spoke about the pressures that they were going through. We even popped up the production guy, Ryan, as well, who's also a professional footballer as well. We've all been through. You're in good company, people. Thank you, everyone that has joined us. And before you leave, please make sure you check out the AFTV app. You can download it on iOS or Play Store. Go and download it. Set your notifications on as well, please, people, so you get notified when these lives are going live. 7 p.m. every day. It's not hard to remember, but also some of the content that's coming your way when we do the breaking news stuff, the big drops of special content. So please go and download the app and hit the notifications. Make sure they're turned on. And big up everyone that's joined us. The CC show. Curtis, it's been a pleasure. Love as always. We're back again next Tuesday as always as well, people. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Peace.
AFTV has partnered with Raffle, and we're giving you a chance to win 2 luxury VIP tickets to the Arsenal v Chelsea game worth over £1,500. It's just £10 entry, and we've got a limited 250 tickets. Tickets for a chance to attend your dream matchday experience go on sale on February the 24th, so click the link below. Stay tuned for the drop, because once they're gone, they're gone.